Are there any characters that you wish you could have played over your career from shows that you've done?
Well, I will say that it's hard because the majority of the people at Funimation are really good friends of mine, so it's like, I'm taking your role. But I really, there was recently a show that I really, really wanted, and I wanted to be one of the lead girls. It's called Panty and Stocking.
Oh.
Yeah, but Jamie was Panty. She also wrote the show. She's really, really talented. And she's rad. She's so rad. Nobody could be Panty but her, you know. And Monica is amazing and sweet Monica. And you know, their interpretation of the show and the way they did it was spot on. And I cannot honestly say that I would do even close to what they did. Man, that would have been a badass show to work on. You know, like, especially because when Jamie was writing it, there were so many things that she took from like various points of her life, because she's a writer, you know. So a lot of the jokes like are about situations that she's been in, and you know, when you spend a lot of time with your best friend, like oh, so like there are little jokes like written throughout. And she obviously started writing before the audition, so she was like, oh, if you get this character, this is your line. How awesome is that? Like, there's a character that gets Asian hot face when they drink, because I get Asian hot face when I drink. And then there's like little things like we would be texting, like their autocorrect would say something weird, and so that made it into the show. And so I really wanted to do that show, because I love playing off Jamie. Jamie and I have done that a few times. Most of the time she's stealing one of my boyfriends, but like she was, but she's just fun to play off of, and she's fun to work with. So it would have been rad to be in Panty and Stocking. Monica and Jamie and Jeremy and Colleen were amazing, all amazing people, and they're all amazing actors, and their performance was rad. So it would have been cool. It would have been really cool. Questions? Yes.
You said you're from Texas. Do you remember anything with doing with Trigun Badlands Rumble as your kid? Do you remember?
Oh, well, here's the thing about, so Trigun Badlands Rumble, I'm Millie, but I'm only in the movie. I'm not actually in the show. So the character, or the woman that was Millie, through no fault of her own, like she was amazing. She had just moved away. So she was in LA, and we were doing the movie in Dallas. So they cast me instead, and to kind of fill her shoes a little bit, which I did, but it didn't, you know. So I was Millie, and it was rad. It was a fun experience. I like how dichotomous Millie is, and how like she's huge, but she's like just so sweet, you know. Like I really liked playing her because of that. So Badlands Rumble was awesome.
Yeah,
It was
it was
awesome.
like I feel you would enjoy it a little bit because it's basically Western. It's space Western.
Mm-hmm.
So coming from like the West in Texas and all that, it would be a little bit more fun to see a gunslinger.
Yeah.
Than a gunslinger.
It's really fun. Like, you know how people come to Canada and they're like, oh, everyone says A. And, I'll do. Every time I come to Canada, when I hear my first A, I'm like, oh, first A, high five! And they're like, what's wrong with her? We say y'all and stuff. But people, especially when I was growing up, like my cousins in California, because I was born in California, but raised in Texas. I'm pretty much Texan. So my cousins in California would be like, do you ride horses to school? I was like, no, we ride donkeys. We can't afford horses. So like, you know, people assume like certain things, and I will say there is an aspect of like Western life in Texas. There's a lot of state pride, huge amounts of state pride. Including myself. Like, I am Texan. I am Texan through and through. And if I go to another city, somebody's talking on Texas, like, I'm little, but I'm fierce.
I know, I've been to Texas.
Yeah. So, as far as like the cool aspect of being in a Western or something like that, like, I've shot guns in my life for sure. Like, I've ridden horses. I've roped cattle. That's a lie. That's a lie. I can't even. They smell so bad. Have you ever seen a cow poop? Anybody?
Yeah,
It's
man.
like, it's huge, and it's like, horse poop. Oh, I hate horse poop. I hate horse poop. Ugh. And it's worse because when they're in the city, you know, they make them wear those stupid diapers. It's like, you're already embarrassing the horse and tying it to this stupid, like, Cinderella nonsense. And now you put it in a diaper, like, that's just rude. Yeah, but I like horse poop westerns. There's another show called El Cazador de la Bruja, which is rad. I play Nadia. She's a gunslinger. I really liked playing her. She was a really rad role. She had a tagline. I really liked her outfit too. She had a little cape and some boots and little shorts. She was cute. And then she had the holsters like on her left. If I ever cosplay, I'd cosplay as Nadia. I haven't found the right cape or shoes yet, so I won't do it. It's perfect. I wouldn't dye my hair though. Maybe I would. I haven't dyed my hair. We're sidetracked. Yes, Alexander.
Yeah, you want more funny stories?
Do I have any more funny stories? Of course I have funny stories. What kind of funny story do you want to hear?
Something funny.
Let's,
Funny story.
obsessive fan stories. Okay. Obsessive fan. Well, there's that one that said that they wanted to kill me. That was pretty crazy. Oh, there's the tackle one. So, I'm in Oklahoma with Jamie and Troy and I don't remember who else was there. I think it was just really the three of us. And it was Oklahoma or Norman, and we were walking out of the convention hall to go to dinner, and but it was like a big group of us, you know, like the Japanese guests and everybody. So like we're all in this group, and I'm like piddling with my phone, and Jamie and Troy are in front of me, and I'm like like, and so like something had happened at the front, so the people that were taking up the back, like had run up there, like the liaisons and security people, and so I'm like and I'm wearing ridiculous shoes at the time that I just got, and they were Stingray and like 6-inch platforms. They're beautiful, and this tiny little dress that was backless, and I'm like and then I hear someone go, oh my God! And I'm like, dude, what? This fan comes up and what's it called? Glomping? Yeah. Tries to glomp me, but I'm precariously poised on Stingray platforms. Like I'm in no position in a mini little dress to defend myself against glomping, and we just go over. And like all anybody hears is like, what? Jamie turns around, and Jamie's like she's Superwoman, you know? Like if anything happens, like I'm tough and like I will throw some blows, but she's like protected and like rad, you know? So she's like, what's going on? And I'm like, I don't know, but I'm crashing the world. I'm mortified. And like we had just like, you frequently don't meet voice actors because we're all in and out of booths at different times. And so we, you know, she and I both know who Troy Baker is, but we had never met him, plus he had moved out to LA. So this is the first time we're meeting him. And so Jamie's screaming, I'm on the floor, like trying to preserve some kind of dignity. And then there's this like flailing fan that's like, I love you! And I'm like, I don't know who you are! And knock me over! And you feel violated. And then Troy's just standing there like, because he has like crazy redhead screaming, little Asian on the floor like freaking out, and then some convulsing fan, and he's like, this is awesome. But I can help you out.
Oh my God.
Okay, so like my second convention ever, it was in Kings of Prussia, which is just outside of Philly. So it was a first year con, and they were expecting like 1,000 kids or something, and like 3,000 showed up. And it was a first year con, so they had one computer to like check everyone in and get everyone like registered or whatever. And it was in this tiny little hotel, and they had a line outside that like wrapped around the building. And this is in Philadelphia in the winter, so it's cold, and there are people in cosplay that are not dressed appropriately. They're freezing their little faces off. And then like apparently they've been lined up outside since like 5 in the morning or something. So they're super cold because we're now at opening ceremonies at 3 in the afternoon, and their one computer is broken down, so everyone's just standing. And it like wraps around the building. It's like this ridiculous wait, and crowd control has to be called in. And then they're talking about calling in SWAT, right? Like it's ridiculous out there. Like they're gonna riot or something. And so it was my second convention, and I'd met Johnny a few times at the studio, Johnny and Bosch, and his band Einstein were there. They're awesome. So we're like Johnny and I and Einstein are all sitting there like at opening ceremonies. I was like, wow, like I guess nobody showed up for opening ceremonies because there's like 5 people there. He's like, oh no, they're all outside. And then he fills me in on the scoop, right? And so like we do opening ceremonies to nobody. And then I get off the stage and he has this clipboard. It's like, hey, we're gonna go outside and sign autographs. Do you wanna go? And I was like, man, this is my second convention. Nobody's gonna know who I am. He's like, do you wanna roll? And I was like, yes, I wanna roll. I'm ready. Let's do this. So I have my little badge and I have a clipboard. And they give me some Sharpies, right? So, I frequently, even though like after the 2 stories I've told, like and you know, Eugene can tell you. This is Eugene, guys. Hi, Eugene.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, I'm fine. I'll be fine. Just leave me alone. I got this. No big deal. I can totally do this. And like, inevitably, something will always happen. Good call, Eugene. You're right. Now that I think about it. So, they have security with us and everything, and like I'm signing autographs and whatever, and I'm like, hi, I'm Trina, would you like an autograph? And they're like, who? And I'm like, okay, hi, I'm Trina, would you like? They're just trying to, you know, make people's day or make them happy or whatever, and like it's cold and they've been out there forever, and like everyone knows Johnny, but they're like, he's getting swamped, so I'm like, it's okay, you do you over there, I'm just gonna kind of move over here. No, I'm fine, I'm totally fine, no big deal. No big deal, I'm totally cool, and I have this clipboard, and I have my badge, whatever, I'm fine. And so then like the crowd starts moving, and you know when you're in like a massive concert crowd or something like that, and you're not even walking, you're just like swirling somehow, and then like you're like around the building somehow, you got there, you didn't walk, you just kind of moved with the crowd that's like now become its own like organism, and like it's not just an organism that's like moving, it's an organism of anger. Okay, so if you have an official looking badge and a clipboard in the middle of this angry sea of people, they're gonna think you know what's going on, right? Which, not fans, mothers. You know who doesn't like waiting in line since 5 in the morning with her cold children? Mothers.
Oh, Jesus.
That's right, yeah, like mom.
Mother of God.
Oh, Tiki.
So like there was some sort of like mom radar, right? And the moms of the world of this angry moving organism were like, there's a clipboard over there, I see her. And then they just came at me, right? And there's like, I'm surrounded by these mothers, and like some of them have their kids who are now mortified and crying, and like she's like, I need to get in right now, she needs to go to the bathroom, and the other one is like, I didn't know that I was supposed to have identification for my child, they are a minor, how am I supposed to have identification for a minor? And then the other one's like screaming at me about how they've been there for so long, and they're all screaming at me. And I'm kind of a sensitive person, so like at this point I'm like trying really hard not to cry, and I'm like, I'm really sorry, I don't know where I am, and I was just gonna, but if you want to come with me, then I can make sure you get in, if that's okay. And like then like people are now pushing, like it's getting real, and we're in this massive sea, and I'm like, where is the police? Where is the crowd control? I have to get out of here. And like I'm like being pushed around and being screamed at, and I bump into this wall of a dude. And I'm like, I turn, and he's in like full SWAT regalia, right?
Oh,
and I grab onto his vest, or just grab onto it. I'm like, please get me out of here. I'm really scared. I have to go inside.